you run off.
That's that's messed up.
Ben Hine is a graffiti writer turned street artist who has worked with both Robbo and Banksy. He's aware their differences are more than just personal.
I knew of Robbo a long time before I met him. He was definitely one of the graffiti writers that I would kind of look up to. I've been out painting with Banksy a few times. Different, doing street art than doing graffiti. Going out with Robbo, it'd be like a can of paint and just trying to do tags in places when people aren't looking. And then going out and painting stuff with Banksy was kind of, we'd work out where it was we were going to paint it, when we could get away with it. A lot more thought went into it, a lot more preparation.
Banksy didn't seem to make much of an impact as a graffiti writer, so he tried something different. Stencils. Sometimes of rats and human figures, sometimes of images borrowed from popular culture.
I think what Banksy does is clever. You know, it appeals to people, it's funny, it's kind of vaguely political, you know, and he presents it in a way that is acceptable. With any kind of subculture, people want to buy into that, and he's done it very well.
King Hats, the author of many books on graffiti and street art, has no doubts about the importance of Banksy's use of stencils.
Stencils have had unbelievable effects. If it wasn't for stencils, I wouldn't be here talking to a national broadcaster about what was essentially defined as vandalism. Banksy turned stencils because it was quick, because it stopped him getting caught, and to quote him, it made a picture of a bunny look hard. Stencils took the street art from the street and put a price tag on it, and made people want to invest in it.
But while Banksy's work gained mainstream popularity, respect from the graffiti world was not forthcoming.
Stencils is cheating.
Why did you say it's cheating to do a stencil?
It's just that old graffiti thing that real graffiti writers paint trains and real graffiti writers nick their paint and real graffiti writers do everything freehand, and using stencils is cheating. You know, street artists make work to sell work, to make money, to have shows and galleries, and all of that goes against what graffiti's all about. You know, graffiti's kind of about male ego and damage, and graffiti's got a lot of self-imposed rules.
However, Banksy doesn't play by graffiti's rules, and never did. In this book, published in 2009,
25 years in central London is like as contemporary or a modern group.
What I was on is was years. It was like an institution. It was just outright wrong. That is calculated this.
I feel like the thing is territorial. Dog pissing on that really. Almost peaceably have 60 acres. Banksy came along and talked with him. In the graffiti world, Banksy doesn't this now and say, I'm Banksy and show that kind of guy he is. Because it's true that some people say, oh, Banksy is a prick. And other people have, a lot of young people, they consider Banksy like a god.
Robbo is en route to the canal. He's willing to risk his life and liberty to strike back at Banksy.
Got to jump a spiked fence, then cross the train tracks. You got to be concerned with the electric rails, satellite in the eye. A lot of thought and a lot of plan goes into it just to cut down your odds of getting arrested. You got to know where all the CCTV is. You turn off your phones, pull your batteries out your phones, so you can't be tied to any masts. Everything goes to plan and you get away with it without ending up in a police cell. Job done. Lovely.
Unless if you do get caught, you run.
Oh yeah, I will, Bob. Don't worry about that. I don't want to get arrested. I cut down the hooligans as much as I can in my favour. The rest is in the hands of the gods.
From this point on, Robbo's wearing a head-mounted night vision camera. He wants to show what's all in a night's work to the graffiti bomber. It is something rarely seen by outsiders. If caught, Robbo could face years in prison.
Love it. I love the excitement. I just got to let out your weather like the cake shower again for the juices to flow, do you know what I mean?
A short walk down the towpath from the scene of Robbo's battle with Banksy. The graffiti war is raging on another front.
In Islington, we're trying to make our boroughs clean, green, and as attractive as we possibly can. Our policy on graffiti is that we don't allow graffiti. Graffiti is criminal damage. So people who are spraying graffiti onto walls or tagging are committing a criminal act. Yes, we have arrested people. We've been successful in taking a few people to court. And 2 or 3 people have actually been sent to prison for the mindless vandalism that they've caused.
Above the graffiti writing that Martin and Darren are removing, a piece of street art is being left alone.
Why?
Some people try to say they're more or less the same. Why are you taking one off and not the other one?
That is the argument with art, or what you call art or graffiti. I mean, to me, personally, you should remove everything.
to decipher what is art and what is vandalism or criminal damage. If we come across a piece that we're not sure of, we have to take pictures and then give it to our manager and decide whether we can remove it or keep it.
As the head of service, I do have some discretion, and with regards to street art, there are pieces of very attractive street art that feature in books and calendars and magazines and websites. With some of the Banksy work that we've got, my personal opinion is that they are very artistic. I genuinely believe that it does have value.
When you say add value, what does that mean?
Well, the stuff that we've got, there are groups of people that come to look at this kind of work because work of Banksy's has been sold off for huge sums of money. Does it have value? Is it art?
Interesting.
Graffiti writers see the approach by councils across the UK as double standards. Writers routinely attack Banksy pieces in the street, leaving the onlooker in no doubt as to which guerrilla artist they support in the graffiti war. It keeps Kenny's council very busy.
I think with some of the Banksy pieces that we've had vandalised, we have occasionally gone round there and repaired them. So, for example, there was one where it was the museum attendant who had a mirror behind him and somebody actually wrote something offensive on the mirror. We could have easily have just painted the mirror out with white paint or whatever colour paint it was, but then the piece wouldn't have made any sense. So what the guys carefully did was actually paint out the slogan or the root word so that the piece was whole again.
It's got to a stage where graffiti is still 100% outlawed and it's still illegal unless you're Banksy when it's celebrated and preserved. Which is, you know, that's good for Banksy, but it's kind of unfair on all the writers because whether it is graffiti, whether it's street art, you know, when you come up before the judge, does the judge ask for definition? Is he a graffiti artist or is he a street artist? Is he street artist? Oh, that's okay, we'll let you off. Graffiti? No.
When asked to comment on being given preferential treatment, Banksy said this. is preparing to attack another Banksy piece.
Can we look at?
But while Banksy is protected under Perspex, Robbo risks arrest and prosecution for criminal damage.
See how quick and easy it is to kill a stencil. No serious whatsoever. So I said, if you stop me, I'm not in. Fucking hell. It's looking like half the bus of me. Look, one second, let me finish doing this and I'll talk to others, alright? I've got to do this, yeah? Thanks. As quick as easy and simple as that for the stencil. Yeah, look, my name's Robbo, yeah. Been having an argument with Banksy for years, since back in the 90s. I fell out with him. I slapped him, and all of a sudden last year he went over one of my pieces. It was the oldest piece in London. Well, another fan. Love it.
Why has it got Perspex on?
Because someone from Team Robbo chucked paint over it and put a little Hitler moustache on the kiddie, and the council came down. They cleaned the graffiti off a bit and slapped a sheet of Perspex over it, and now it's protected for all eternity, so everyone can appreciate it. Which is quite funny. The irony of councils cleaning graffiti off the street art and then protecting it. It's pretty mad.
But it's gone beyond the realm of local politics. Barack Obama used street art to become president. David Cameron used street art to become his friend.
Yeah, I got a painting in the White House.
Do you know where it's hanging?
Toilet. In this room of unwanted gifts, I don't know.
This is called 21st Century City, painted by Ben Ine and given to Barack Obama by David Cameron in 2010 on his first state visit to Washington.
I thought it was quite interesting because I'd obviously been arrested a few times and I got a criminal record.
Before his international success as a street artist, Ben was an infamous graffiti writer.
That was the thing that got me arrested loads and loads and loads. I used to run around everywhere tagging that.
How many times did you get arrested?
Quite a few, maybe as many as 20. I've been arrested so many times and had so many fines that I was kind of giving the judge no other option but to send me to prison.
Faced with a bleak future, Ben changed his approach. Gone was the hard-to-decipher code aimed at fellow graffiti writers. Here was a new style. Bold, giant lettering, painted onto walls and shop security shutters. As Ben's work gained kudos around the art scene in London's East End, so did his freedom to paint wherever and whenever he liked.
I painted some really, really big walls that have taken days to paint, and I painted them in broad daylight without permission. Because it was street art and not graffiti, I got away with doing it.
What sort of response do you get now then from the police if you're out working?
They come and talk to me. There's a paper a few years ago that they chased us down the street and nicked us.
The former graffiti vandal has even been invited to Downing Street for a personal audience with the Prime Minister.
Mr. Cameron wanted to say thank you. We sat in the garden and had tea and biscuits. And chatted about art and chatting about the state of the country and it was funny.
What biscuits did they serve you?
Fucking cats. I'm massively privileged, but I have the opportunity to live off of what I love doing. Yeah, it's amazing. A lot of graffiti writers are now beginning to understand that what they actually do is art. You know, they don't have to go to work and do a job that they hate. You know, they could get a studio, they could make their graffiti, they could have shows and they could sell it.
Visit Mecca for the world's best street art and home to the galleries that bring it to a wider audience. An audience Robbo is now keen to engage.
Got Tony down there. You got Tony? Hello?
Robbo is being given the chance to make the transition from outlaw graffiti writer to professional artist.
Just we're just curating right now.
Oh, that's nice.
Gallery owner, Pure Evil, has invited Robbo to stage his first solo show and he's produced 20 new works of art. Tomorrow, they go on sale to the public.
Oh, they look nice, huh?
You make an entrance, don't you?
Like a big end.
This gallery helped to establish Banksy as a selling artist. The fact Robbo is now exhibiting here has not gone down well with the stenciller's hardcore supporters.
Banksy's fans, they're talking about coming to the gallery and paint over all the artwork.
They will come down and take care of it.
Not when I'm here, though, right? I'm putting my head on the block because everyone's expecting graffiti and I'm showing people that I'm more than just a graffiti artist, you know? Yeah, how bad would that be? Making money out of something you love doing.
The future Robbo wants, where he makes a living from his art, depends on whether or not this show is a success.
So what we need is life-changing fucking experience, really. I never thought I'd live through this. Well, when I was doing it, I never thought I'd see that in a gallery. I just want to see it on every train. Now look, it's hanging up. It's all about the art, baby. The art. I just hope everyone comes and has a good time. You know, with an open mind. Let me into their world. That'd be nice.
It's the day of Robbo's first solo show. With so much riding on its hands.
tremendous. So it shows different styles, I think. I mean, you can see the old stuff compared to what you do, and yeah, he's got talent. I don't know what he said, I don't think he mentioned.
I think if I was going to buy anything, I'd buy that one. That's fine. And maybe that one.
Hello? It's round. It's completely round. There's no people standing outside, lots of people standing upstairs, wandering around looking at the art.
I've got one guy who's reserved 15 bits.
No!
Also spotted in the crowd are two members of Team Banksy, a business associate and Banksy's PR agent.
Can I ask what you think about Robbie's exhibition?
Rather not, it's alright. It's alright.
I bet she's just come down to see if I used him in any way, shape or form. At the end of the day, all my stuff down there is not stacked on Banksy. Our war on the street between us. Right, it's entertainment for everyone else, but when I do my show, it ain't about taking Banksy off, it's about showing people I'm an artist. And that's what I've got tonight.
Following the success of his solo show, Robbo's ambition to work as a professional artist looks like becoming a reality.
You know, I'm getting opportunities to do commissions all the time. I'm getting thrown to Milan, Rome, Paris, like Berlin this time of the year. When you're an artist, you want people to see your stuff. And I used to use the tube system in London for that to happen. Now I'm doing galleries and I'm commissioning. Broader scope of people now know who I am because of Banksy. Even though I don't think it was his intention. Because even though my piece, it just give me a kick up the arse I needed to get out and do it. And I love it. Yeah, thanks, Mr. B.
Robbo's been commissioned to promote a film premiering at the Berlin Film Festival, and he's painting a portrait of the film star on this wall. But even here, Robbo can't escape his arch nemesis.
It's right next door to Mr. P as well. Lucy was the best. Let the art talk for itself. I'm going to do Frio, whereas you can only stencil.
was attending the film's premiere.
The only red carpet I've ever been on is during the 70s in my granddad's house. That's going to be a good experience. A boy from East London, he's on the red carpet in Berlin, hanging about with directors and stars. We had a really good place in the world, we really enjoyed it. It's looking forward to the future. And she's got over one piece yet again, and he's replaced it by, what do you see over there? He ain't trying to be better than me with graffiti. He'll come and do something like that, some stencils and some chalk, you know, but, you know, I could do that. Who knows, I might even do it.
So is the war over?
Definitely not. How can it be now? He's had the last say and I can't have that. With all the walls in London, he's come and gone over one of my pieces, which is not exactly easy to get to, so he's made it personal again.
So what's next?
I tell you what, why don't you come with me one night and I'll show you what's next.
Robbo would never get his chance to retaliate against Banksy. Just days after this filming took place, he was found unconscious in the street with life-threatening head injuries. And he's been in a coma ever since.
Wow.
A Team Robbo exhibition goes ahead, giving friends and family the chance to celebrate the man whose career inspired
Mm.